So in the same regard, thinking about I-PACE as a reward, using one of these to reward, well, what what does a woman want to be complimented on? Yeah, I know these guys. I mean, I can say to Ian, you're a great writer. That means a lot to him, right? Because he wants to be a great writer, and he's worked at it. Okay, so that's a compliment that means something. Now, how do I know to say that to him? Awareness. Now, it's easy in this context, but with a woman, what does she take pride in? Who does she want to be? The goal, fundamentally, with leadership, you think about leadership as a process. A process of finding out who the person wants to be and being a context or a channel or a means for that. And if you think about that process kind of getting over a hump or sort of being a necessary thing we have to do because we're stuck in this still as a society. Well, once you kind of get over that hump where the woman is actually saying, like, I love spending time with you, I feel so relaxed with you, you guys are high-fiving after sex, you're feeling like when you're together, you get to be who you actually are, who you really want to be, who you are when you're, standing in front of the bathroom mirror, like, working on your cool look, or, when you're, you're playing your favorite song in your bedroom and no one's looking and you're dancing or whatever. That's that feeling when you have that with someone else. That's like your best friend now. There's nothing that compares to that. No car, no money, no status, no smooth talk. Nothing can compare to that feeling. This is the process of getting there. This is what that is now. It's established. We can be ourselves with each other. This can happen very fast, by the way. This can happen within a minute. That's pushing it, but it can happen. 5 minutes. What you want to get to, the goal here, in terms of developing yourself in this context, is you want to get here without hesitation, without unnecessary obstacles or time. I can remember one girl in particular that I texted for maybe 5-6 months, long time. I didn't realize the whole time she had a boyfriend. And then I ended up, we hung out, we liked each other. I think we slept together maybe the second time we hung out, something like that. And we started, we were seeing each other, right? And then I can think of like a bunch of examples where, things happen within like 10 minutes. In both cases, I didn't do anything better or worse. Basically, I made the connection as fast as the situation allowed. So I didn't miss opportunities, right? So, when I talk about, I talk about moving fast and obviously the Take Her Home Tonight product is all about, moving fast and that kind of stuff. But what it really comes down to is not missing opportunities, is not hesitating unnecessarily because you're stuck in this. So that's awareness. Okay, so I-PACE, eliciting and rewarding, dealing with thrust. Well, first of all, when your thrust is aligned, okay, when you're doing thrust, you're going to be thinking in terms of I-PACE. You're going to be messaging I-PACE. You're going to be messaging protection, appreciation, etc. Okay. Also, you can think of this in terms of also you can think of this in terms of a reward, because just like a woman is inherently attractive to you, you already like women, right? As a man, you're inherently attractive to women to some degree, right? So it's going to vary from woman to woman, but the fact that you're a man already makes you inherently valuable, all right? So the more of you display, the more fun it is for her. Just like you see more of her body, that's feels good. That's nice, right? In terms of a reward, this is you being a man. That's awesome to her. She likes that, okay? Eliciting, this is where it gets a little more subtle. What you're going to do with women is you're going to demonstrate how you want them to be, essentially being authentic, uncensored, accepting of themselves first, and hopefully of you, but you shouldn't really think about that. So when I'm expressing myself, let's say I'm telling an embarrassing story from my childhood or something, I'm doing that partially because it's a funny story and I enjoy telling it, but there's also the only reason why I went there with my focus is because I want her to do the same. I want to show her, the great analogy is if you think about when a group of friends go to a pool or go to the beach, there's always one person that jumps in first and everyone's like, how's the water, He says, oh, the water's warm, whether it is or not. Or in a, let's say in a club and there's a dance floor, no one's dancing yet, it's only like 9:30. There's always that one girl or that couple. There's that guy who wants to do a dance-off, just challenging people. What's the symbol for dance-off, by the way? Isn't it like...
It's more of a 2 on like...
It's just, yeah.
And a triple knot.
It's a triple knot, okay.
That's it.
I remember not to do that ever. And then that's when everyone else jumps on the dance floor, right? You're going first. You're saying, I'm opening up, I'm being vulnerable, I'm being me. It allows her to do the same. And you'll see this, and I actually have a tactical sequence to use to draw that out, because initially everyone's going to be, it varies person to person. Some people are like, oh, awesome, I can be an open book with this person because they're doing it. Like, to me, that's how I am. When I sense that from somebody, great, like we're friends instantly. But most people aren't like that. The interesting thing, kind of a caveat to that, or a sort of a little addendum to that is, in America, being an extrovert is like the status quo. It's like, that's the personality that we think is right or cool. The thing is, most people aren't extroverts. Probably a little over half are actually introverts if you really wanted to classify them. We have this kind of idea that a beautiful woman is, especially in a social situation, the fact that she's maybe flirting with a lot of people, and maybe her song comes on, she does the woohoo and does a little hip wiggle, and she's chatting with her friends and everything. You get this idea that she's extroverted, she's not shy, she has no insecurities, that she's a free spirit and all this stuff. The reality is she's probably shy. There's probably a lot of stuff that she doesn't want to tell people, that she's insecure about, things that she really is proud of or is excited about, that she's worried about talking about because she doesn't want to sound weird or look strange. I mean, I know a girl who is really into Japanese anime. I'm sure she doesn't. I know she doesn't go around telling people that. We had to hang out several times before she would give me a glimpse of that, right? So that's the kind of thing, it's whatever. Well, that's what you're into. As long as it's not hurting anybody, it's cool. I don't know anything about that. We'll watch something sometime, it's whatever. But, women have a lot of that stuff. So I'm trying to point out this sort of social facade that you see, that we all feel pressure to satisfy, to do, is not reality. It's not how most people are, and definitely not how most women are. Okay, so there's a lot. The idea that you need to go first and show her that the water's warm might seem strange, because she's, you see women that are attractive and social, and you think, well, she doesn't need me to do that. Well, actually she does. Most of the conversations she's having with men are very shallow, superficial, and I do know that women who are intelligent And, you know, I have one friend that likes stupid girls. But most guys I know like intelligent women. They think it's sexy, it's fun, it makes for better conversation. You don't want to feel like you're dumbing it down. So what you want, you should, you know, develop your kind of your MO with women so that you're resonating with the kind of women you want. I can't tell you how to get every single kind of woman. I don't know all the different kinds of women, but I couldn't tell you how to get, you know, you couldn't point out a woman at random and say, okay, what do I say to her? What do I do to her? What's going to resonate with her? I don't know. I know in general, 90%, anyone who's got a female polarity, I can give you some principles to build off of. But, you know, when you start thinking about the kind of woman you want, start thinking about, well, how does she think? What's going on with her? What kind of hopes and dreams would she have? The easiest way to find that out is just by asking. But a lot of guys don't ask. They assume that women are into certain things, and that's why you'll have guys, you know, one girl I dated told me that she had a guy, you know, introduce himself, and they were talking. I think he got a round of drinks for him. And then he started talking about how he used his card, right? And he said, yeah, I have to use this card because I left my platinum card, you know, in my second house in LA or whatever. He's, you know, and what he's trying to do there, I mean, it's obvious, but what he's trying to do is satisfy this checklist that he thinks she has. She doesn't have this checklist. So, you know, meanwhile, there's me in Orlando, living in a one-bedroom apartment, like, don't have a car, you know. I'm the one she wants to hang out with all the time. So what's her checklist? Just an addendum to understand why that's actually important. But this fun, social, kind of diva American girl that intimidates all of us because she's talkative and quick-witted and happy and smart. That's a facade. I mean, you have a few drinks, everyone's like that, right? And especially if a bunch of guys are giving you attention and you're feeling yourself. Of course. If I was in her shoes, I'd be acting the same way. But then if someone came up to me and actually started talking to me, and I felt like, wow, this person sees me, even if it was like an overweight, ugly woman, I would still be pulled. Okay? Because now we're talking about who I want to be. That outweighs everything else. It's not even a competition. Okay, last part, control. This is easy, elicit reward. Basically, the elicit reward process, you elicit, and then it happens this fast, that offering control, very quick, okay? And then you reward by taking control. So the words, the English language kind of is funny with these kinds of things because we think about taking control, but you're rewarding. From a man's perspective, that doesn't make any sense. It's you're taking, but you're giving. What is that? Maybe I'll figure out a better. From a woman's perspective, if she's sensing that you're doing this ER pattern, that you are a leader, you're thinking like a leader in terms of team building, she wants you to take control. So when you take control, you're doing what she wants. You're giving her what she wants, which is leading her. And we've all heard, you know, women want a man who can take control or takes control. Women want a man who goes for what he wants or knows what he wants. So that's really what confidence is about, is, you know, when women say, oh, he's confident, or confidence is sexy, or, you know, what's the most attractive, how can a guy get more women or be better with women? Well, be confident. What confidence means is taking control without hesitation when it's offered. If you do that before it's offered, now you're cocky, you're an asshole, you're creepy. And if you don't at all, you're a nice guy. You're in the friend zone, which is the nothing zone, by the way.